accountable for some of her choices. She chose to do some of those things and she was not under duress. Okay. Cassie needs to prepare for the possibility of Alex leaving her. Okay. Only so much ridicule a man can take. Okay. Men, their egos, they're different from us. Okay. Their pride means a lot more to them than it does women oftentimes. You get what I'm saying? So this man's pride is hurt. I don't care what y'all say. That man's pride is very hurt after all that stuff came out on the stand. You know, that's not something that they can just live down and put behind them. Okay, God forbid he had words with somebody, a disagreement. What do you think the first thing they're going to say to him is? You probably can't even satisfy your wife, all those BBCs she had up in her. No, I don't think it's fair that a woman's past is held against her. That's why we need to tell these young ladies the truth. Stop telling them that they can get out here and wild out without consequences. If you like, this man has sat in front of the world and heard about vile, disgusting acts that his wife willingly participated in with hundreds of men. That's a lot for anybody to deal with.
Okay. So I hope you guys been keeping up with the trial. A lot of stuff was said. Should Cassie, we could talk about both odds, about him staying or will he stay, but should Cassie also be held accountable for the choices she made with Diddy?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Go ahead. Who want to talk about it? Go ahead. Jump first.
I'm like, yes, but. Yes.
Meaning? Yes, but what?
But. Well, it's my understanding that they started the connection when she was 19 years old and he was pushing 40. The irony is now Cassie is pushing 40. I think she's also ready to have her baby. But think about the growth that she's had from the time that she encountered Diddy for the first time and to where she is now. I think that to just say that somebody is over 18, that they're an adult and that they will always make good decisions, or that they really understand what they're getting into, or that they're not vulnerable to predatory people who will exploit their naivete. I mean, you are not downloaded with all the information that you need to know at 19 years old. You are still a teenager. Your brain doesn't even mature until age 25. So when I think about Cassie and the fact,
I mean, before she even keeps going on, if we are going to assume that people's brains are not developed till 25, then people shouldn't drink till 25. People shouldn't vote till 25. People shouldn't go to the military and fight in wars till 25. People shouldn't vote till 25. You know, they shouldn't be able to drive till 25. They shouldn't own a gun till 25. Like, what are we doing here? It's like we pick and choose when we want to call adults, and pick and choose when we want to call, adults kids. Because if the same person who's 19 committed a crime against this woman, she wouldn't say, oh, he's just 19, she's just 19. You should charge her for the crime as a teenager, as a kid, not as an adult. Because best believes if a 19-year-old end someone's life, they're going to charge them as an adult. I mean, they're smart enough to know they shouldn't take someone's life. The same woman is going to claim women who are doing OnlyFans, who are 19 years old, they can do whatever they want. So they're grown enough to show their bodies online for money, but they're not grown enough to be in a relationship. We can't pick and choose who's young and who's not.
The fact that I have 3 girls, and I'm thinking like they were her age when, a couple of them were her age when all this went down. I got to think to myself that they were still children. Even though legally they are considered adults, they are still children and vulnerable and naive and subject to somebody that's grooming them. So I would just start there, because then the template is for everything else that we could talk about. So all the things that she did subsequently, I think you have to consider first that she was kind of a kid, and this man who's old enough to be her father came in and imposed all of these things. Drugs were also related, which also alters the brain. So, it's to me not so cut and dried.
Okay.
But
She
I'm open.
was,
I'm open to.
she was
I'm open
21, 22.
Hmm?
She was 21, 22. She was with Ryan Leslie for 3 years.
Exactly. That's the point most people forget. She was already dating a man before she met Diddy. And then, but if she didn't date Diddy and she decided to become a porn star, that would be okay. She's a grown adult to do that. But then she's not grown enough to date an older man. She's grown enough to do porn, to do OnlyFans, but she's not grown enough to date an older man. It's crazy how the double standards work.
And then she got with Diddy. She cheated on Ryan Leslie with Diddy, and then that's when she got with him.
Yeah.
I still think that 21 or 22. I mean, I still think that that's young. I still do. I think whether it was 19, 21, or 22, we really don't have the maturity of our brains until 25. And that's not to absolve people and excuse people. I'm just saying that that's not enough relationships to be hip to game to know all of like how to identify it in a way. I mean, her father.
At what age should women?
I'm sure he wasn't hipping her to any game that was going on over there.
So at what age should women start to help responsible for their decisions?
Good fucking question.
No,
Anton.
I'm not discounting that that there's any age.
Answer his question first. At what age should they be deemed adults to be held accountable for their actions? Tell us.
That a woman shouldn't be held responsible for their decision. What I am saying though is that when it comes to the condemnation of the choices that she makes, age should be a consideration. It would be a consideration for me. I mean,
is that only applicable to women?
No, it isn't. And oftentimes I hear, especially within this community, that people deserve a second chance because what they did when they were young and have since matured and learned better, they have done better, and is often celebrated in this community for the men. But it seems that oftentimes the women, there is no redemption. Like we are supposed to be magically downloaded with all this information to know better. And listen, I'm hard on the women too. So I'm not here to be an apologist to women. But what I'm saying is that they are, the mitigating factors is a phrase that exists for a reason. That's it.
But we could charge men. I mean, we charge people with give them life for murder at 16, 17 years old.
Exactly.
They're able to join the army at 18.
Exactly.
Able to smoke cigarettes. She's able to buy alcohol, liquor.
That's what I
say. People have freak offs in college. At what age? Is it only because it was Diddy and the stuff that he was doing, or is it because?
No, it's because in this case they make it seem like Cassie was it. Because I could give zero shits about who the victim was, who the predator was, but for all the times, the moments she had to go and report to the police, at even one point she went to date another man, her current husband, and then she came back to Diddy, and then she went back to her current husband. All those moments she could have gone to the police, but to pick and choose when we want to say, oh, she was young, or she could have, or she was being used. It's like, okay, so we have 19-year-olds doing OnlyFans, doing porn, and that's legal and that's okay. But when they are dating, then that's not okay. I mean, at this point, we should raise the age of consent and being adults to 30. Because apparently to this woman, 25, below 25 is not old enough.
I think that your early 20s, you're still kind of a kid. I mean,
no, you're not.
I know that you're sort of the exception to Anton. I know that you got married in your 20s and you're still married, and that's wonderful. But most of us were absolute morons.
That's on you. If you are young and you're a moron, if I was young and I was a moron, that's on me and maybe on my parents for not raising me right. That's not to blame any other person. Like, we gotta hold ourselves accountable. If you're 21 and you commit a crime, you're going to jail. No judge is going to listen to you. Oh, I'm still a kid. My brain is not developed. Judge, I'm sorry. I killed someone, but my brain won't develop until 25. And that's when I realized that I can't kill people. No, you're going to jail. So we can't pick and choose when we want to switch the edge of consent and when we want to make sure people have the knowledge and the brains to know right from wrong.
From 19 to 24 or 25. We made a lot of mistakes. I did not make the kind of mistakes that Cassie made, but I certainly did. The thing that I don't like is how everybody can make judgments about like what they would have done. Or girl, if the cell phones would have been around for what we were doing, and I'm Gen X, I'll be 52 in July. And like the idea that we're somehow so much better, we just didn't get caught. It just wasn't exposed. There go by the grace of God, whatever. So it is not, again, not to absolve, but to understand.
Jess, I think Jess is agreeing. Oh, go ahead.
You said me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can all agree that there was a level of grooming associated with this, but
nope.
At some point, Cassie did become complicit in this whole situation, and I do think she should be held accountable. I think Cassie should have took the money and ran, because before she even got on the stand, people had this perception that she was this victim, right? And that's kind of what we all went with until we started hearing the details of the case, looking at the text messages, and we like, well, oh damn. She's just as guilty as Diddy is. So I hear you. Yes, she was young, but at the same time, innately, we know what's right and what's wrong. And we know that some of the things that Cassie was participating in, like, there's really no excuse for that. And then to add the whole situation with Ryan Leslie, I feel like Cassie was chasing a bag. She was chasing a man of status. She was chasing X, Y, and Z. And I think she got her feet a little bit more wet than what she intended to. And it kind of, swindled from there. But nah, Cassie is just as guilty as Diddy is, and I'm not taking her being 21, 22, because I went out there doing that at 21 and 22.
Facts, man. For the first time, Jess, I'm with you. For the first time. I'm sorry, baby girl. You've been letting me down these past few episodes, but right on the money. Because, guys, think about like this. If it was a guy who was 19 years old with a 45-year-old woman, they wouldn't say he was groomed. They wouldn't say he shouldn't be. They would say he knows what he got himself into. If we're going to be honest, if it was a man, take it a step further. If it was Cassie, let's say Diddy got broke because Cassie stole all his money. Because this happens all the time. Men date younger women and younger women take all their money, all their savings, steal money from them. You know what the women say? He should have known better. Because this time around, it's not the woman on the bad end of the stick. So it's like it's both adults. They know what they are doing. They both get something they both get gained by being in the relationship. And if one doesn't like it, go to the police right away. Don't wait years. Don't go date other people, then come back to the relationship, then go somebody else, then come back and then claim you're a victim. No, go to the police the first time something happens that you don't like.
Nah. Mm-mm.
Have y'all ever heard that quote? It's from the movie The Usual Suspects, and the quote was, "The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist." So that's like what immediately came to my mind, because I already from the beginning I said, "Ain't no way," because I do believe. My thing is, I don't think that this should be charged the way it is. Were they freaked out? Yes. Were there drugs involved? Yes. Was it toxic to a whole nother level? Yes. But my thing is, like, especially like after, because I've been following it, and when you read that all of the videos and the pictures and everything, she had it. She was like initiating them. She wanted a lot of them, but she threatened to kill somebody if it got to him. I do believe that she was a co-conspirator. And I honestly believe that she wanted that. She liked that. When she went to rehab. She went to rehab for opioid addiction and sex addiction. Now, I don't know I know that he went to rehab for the drugs, but I don't know if he went for sex addiction. But my thing is, and then when she got the money, wait, I don't want to say the more thing.
So wait, are you saying that Cassie should be held accountable?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and I think that it's messed up that because, and I'm very open with, I've dealt with domestic abuse for 6 years. And like a part of my recovery from it, I speak to women in domestic abuse shelters. You know, I go do my part with it because I got out, I survived. But one of the things that we always we start talking about is the fact, and now it's more prevalent than ever. I mean, it's been being done where women will use it as an excuse. Like when she said she was raped by Diddy, and then I forget what the husband's name is. She said it was rape, and then she had it because, yeah, him. And then which I believe he knows everything.
You think she told him everything before they got married?
Yeah.
I don't think Cassie told her current husband everything. Especially the fact, because she claimed Diddy raped her, and then a month later, she went to have normal sex with Diddy, and then the husband FaceTimed her while she was with Diddy. Like, I don't think she explained that part. I'm going to be honest. I don't think she told him A to Z. I'm sure when they were in the court, some of the things Cassie said shocked that guy. And to me, this is what I believe, and this is what some people believe. I believe that years down the road, now that she's got the money, I think almost $30 million from Diddy and from the hotel that released the video, I believe he's gonna divorce her after some time to take half the money. If we're gonna be honest, I'm just being honest. That's what I think he's gonna do.
Because I also that
y'all don't even tell men y'all body count. So
no, she didn't.
Look, but
I think she did. I think she did.
Yeah,
I think that she wouldn't have had a choice.
Telling somebody something and then hearing it and seeing everything is different. And his mom, he runs for Haven House, which is an abuse shelter. I think his mom went through something like with abuse and everything. But I think she told him everything from A to Z and stuff?
No.
And he's probably finding out a lot of stuff that he thought. But my thing is, I don't like when women claim abuse and it's just a cop out. I think that she knew the charges were coming. The feds wanted Diddy, and they came to her and was just like, "Look, this is coming. We need you to work in with it." I don't know.
I don't know. Like honestly, she probably, after her taking the money, I don't think she thought it would have went this far to a trial to where she would have to testify about what she did. Yeah. I don't think she told him everything. Women of today don't even tell men what they did in college to their husbands. So you think she told that man she was getting pissed on in the mouth by other guys? Is diabolical. I mean, like, that's I don't think so. But my thing is, I think that she knows he's most likely not going to go anywhere because he's a trainer. Now, my aunt's a celebrity, trainer. She makes big money, but she don't make that money. Wait, well, because he can still divorce her and get alimony.
That is true.
And that's why I say that's going to be his game plan. After 5 years from now, he's going to divorce Cassie and take half of the money she got, if we're going to be honest.
Kamaya, we can't hear you, Kamaya. Izzy, I think you wanted to talk. Go ahead, Izzy.
I wanted to say that I feel like two things can be, or maybe multiple things can be true at once with Cassie. I feel like, yes, she was a victim.
Of what?
But I also think that she was a victim of Diddy, obviously. But I also think she was a victim of her own greed. Because to me, I think that someone said earlier, she wanted a lifestyle. And that's why she remained in it as long as she did. So I believe that she wanted to be like a pop star. and the Hollywood famous and all of those things. And Diddy was a sure way for her to get that. That's why, because it makes no sense to me why someone would stay. And even watching, well, not watching the trial, reading about what happened and all the times where she said that, you know, he hit her, he all the breakups and things like that, and then she goes on the bounce and says that she still loves him. I feel like that's not, in my opinion, I feel like that's not true, and that's just a cop out. And you cannot love somebody that's doing all of those things to you. And I feel like she's just saying that because that's what people for, like, the default to using love as a way to like cover up for their own whatever it is, insecurities, or just not wanting to hold themselves accountable. You don't love the guy that was giving you a UTI. You don't love the guy that was hitting on beating you up. You don't love the guy that made you sleep with so many people. You don't, but you just say that because you feel like people will be like, yeah, love makes you do crazy things. Like, that's, for me, that's
Like a
not true.
cop-out.
Yeah, for her staying for all those years, because listen, it's not like she stayed with Diddy the entire time. She stayed with Diddy, broke up with him, went on to date other guys, including the trainer, the current husband that Diddy hired for her, Kid Cudi and other guys. She came back to Diddy, went back to all these guys. In that space and time, she could have gone to the police. It's just my opinion. But what do you guys think? Women are saying most of the ladies in the panel are saying she gotta be held accountable. What do you guys think about that?